Sevnica is a gorgeous town right in the heart of Slovenia, situated right along the Sava River, which is one of the longest rivers in Europe. The section of the Sava that flows past Sevnica was a popular destination for kayakers and canoeists up until 2008, when a hydroelectric dam was built across it, creating a dead end for anyone trying to go through that section of the river. In 2008, while this dam was still under construction, the mayor of Sevnica understood that it did end an era, and so he decided he would organize a final trip down the Sava River past the dam, and he was calling this trip the Final Descent. And so a few weeks later, on July 3rd, after all preparations were made, the mayor and the rest of his crew made their way upstream to this loading area where 4 canoes have been set out for them. They began their slow trip down the river. But about 15 or 20 minutes into their journey, they turned this corner and they got a clear view of the dam, which was about 1,000 feet away from them at the time. And so even from 1,000 feet away, it was very obvious to tell that up ahead, there's these big cement archways where the water flows down over this dam. And the whole group pretty much immediately saw they had a problem. The plan had been they would get to this dam, but on the left side of the dam, there was going to be a strip of waterway that had not been blocked off yet. But it was obvious there was no side way to get around the dam. And so after making their plans about who was going to do what, you see these 7 people on this canoe. And as they go into the darkness, as you begin to lose sight of them, you see the back end of the canoe suddenly pops up because now they're going down the actual dam itself. They start sliding down, and then you hear someone in the canoe start to scream, and then it goes completely silent. After it slid down that downslope, it would reach the water. The second canoe that went down the dam, they also capsized at the bottom. All 7 occupants were thrown out, and they were sucked down underwater almost immediately. The third canoe that went over the dam did not capsize, and so they began looking around for the other 2 canoes that should have already been down there. And there was nobody out in front of them, and so they turned around. They see one of the canoes is completely flipped over, and the other canoe has been broken apart in the churning waters right at the base of the dam, and they see the wood from this canoe just getting tumbled around. And so this third canoe immediately turns and tries to paddle over to the base of this dam to try to start pulling people out of the water. But when they get over there, there's no one there. The 14 people that had been in these 2 canoes, they're gone. Ultimately, 13 of the 14 people that fell in the water that day would perish, and one of the fatalities was the mayor. The only person who survived was actually the mayor's wife. Over the next several weeks, police divers were able to eventually find all 13 bodies, one of which had traveled 25 miles away to Croatia.